This episode of the production channel is sponsored by CLEMCO. Visit clemco.net for all of your freelance, independent contractor, entrepreneur, and small business needs.
Captain Robert Jack Permenter, what's up, man?
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Dude, you know, COVID, it is what it is. Shows, no shows, schedule.
Tell me about it.
Canceled.
Back on, back off.
Back on, back off. You know, one of the things that I miss, you think about when the shutdown first happened, we had the virtual happy hours. We were getting together for hours on end, and 2 times a week, then 1 time a week. But then, you know, life, career, we're all trying to figure things out.
Yeah, exactly.
How has this transition been for you?
It's been a rough one for sure. Like I had enough savings to survive for about probably 6 months or so, and then I was able to pick up some virtual work from a company called Q2Q. Those guys have been great to me so far.
Yeah, Greg Hermanson, Mark
Mark, those guys, they've been my lifesaver. They've been my my bread and butter so far, navigating through this whole mess. And we unfortunately came to the decision back last July that we would have to sell the house and move in with my in-laws. It was a tough decision, but we knew it was the right one. It provided us a lot of open avenues to be able to kind of get out of some of the debt that we maybe accrued over the past couple of years, and then be able to move in with my in-laws has been a huge blessing. We're still here. I'm still we're a year later. We haven't had, work hasn't been consistent enough to be able to feel comfortable getting into like a rental situation or even trying to buy another house and things like that. So waiting for just a little bit more consistency. It's almost there, but not quite. And with the Delta variant and everything that's coming up, and we've seen all these cancellations happen, and it's not quite the right time. So we just got to get another maybe 6 months in, and then maybe next year we can start getting our own place. Lemons and lemonade, trying to see what I could do with that, and
right. Yeah. It's interesting, man. This is a consistent story. People in our industry, we had a great 2019. A lot of us had a great 2019, and then 2020 comes around and really shuts things down and hits us hard. And it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And in all of this, like, we all have to find what there is to be grateful for, to continue on, and then find some hope and some peace as we continue to navigate. And the big word was pivot. I want people to understand, technicians like Robert have been able to pivot, right, and find a place to do great work. And that's because pre-COVID, they were already doing great work. That's just really to speak to you as a technician, Robert. I know you. I've known you for years. I wrote about you in my book, Career Projection 101, because I just know, I've always known that you're someone who cares about your work, you care about your job, you care about your name and reputation, and you want to make sure that the clients look good at the end of the day. And that's something to be proud of, and that's why you're working now. So
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of that, and I've always said that guys that are good are always going to they're going to find a way to have work, even in these slow periods and these downturns. Back in 2008, same thing. Guys that were good were working, because they've built that reputation, because we care about our craft. It's our livelihood. It's what we try to produce and try to make. We want to have good shows. We want to have a good. We want our messages from our clients to be portrayed as they need it to be portrayed. And that's the ultimate goal, really.
Covidland was the first passion project that you worked on, and that was great. I remember you did the premiere for it. We did a pre-screening during our happy hour. Oh man,
that was so much fun.
And I remember, so I'm sure it's available out there. So we'll have to get the link and put the link in for people to
Sure.
go see it as well. But that scene of just the bike scene and the sitting around the house and the table and like the news and it's just like all of those things that we were first experiencing during quarantine. You spoke about. Dude.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we kind of did it in a way. Just I kind of had an outline. I didn't really script anything. We just kind of ad-libbed a lot of it. I think the most scripted point was probably the dad who I played in the garage with the shotgun. I think that was probably the only thing that was probably the most scripted.
I forgot about the shotgun scene.
Yes. Yeah. This here is a 12 gauge shotgun. I was killing bear, squirrel.
Right. Just in case something pops off, I need you to be ready.
Right.
This right here is a 12 gauge shotgun. When I was your age, I was taking down 12 pointers. Bear, the occasional squirrel.
Somebody help me with groceries?
And I let Kira, my daughter, just be completely clueless on like what I was gonna do next, so that way her reactions were very genuine for the camera. Like when I go and shove the MRE into her chest, it was, the whole idea was it to be just like, she didn't know I was gonna do that. I just did it, and we shot it, and that's what worked. But we had a lot of fun doing that. It was I learned a lot too, just making, technically just trying to create something, learning how to use a DSLR as a video camera or as a film camera, which I hadn't done before. Also realizing that GoPros don't have irises and everything's done electronically. The way that camera works, it's all done through the electronics, the shutter speed and the sensitivity of the sensor. So I actually created a neutral density filter that I could put over top the lens, and then we could only shoot between like the hours of 6:30 and like 8 o'clock in order to be able to get the correct lighting levels, so that way we got the correct shutter speed, so it looks like a film. It doesn't look like a GoPro.
That's the engineer in charge right there, getting it done.
Right, exactly, right? No kidding. And then, well, yes, in directing and getting into for other projects and stuff, I've realized there's a lot of what a director does is problem solve, and I'm that's what an E.I.C does. We just go through, we get the challenges, and they're like, okay, how do I make this work? How do I make this work? And how do I make this work? And as a director, when you're directing film, it's very, very similar. I watched a YouTube video several months ago, and that's what they were talking about. It's just directors are problem solvers. You are there to make the decision on how to create the next scene or how to make the next element happen in the film, and something that I've realized, and I think I'm pretty good at. So trying to always just trying to figure out, okay, what's the issue? Let's move on. Let's make it work. Here's how we're gonna make it work. And go from there.
And you definitely made Covidland work, and you started working on another project, and did a short film, Kate, right?
Kate. Yeah. So Mr. Clark and I have been friends for many years. He's
Mr. Clark
Jason Ray Clark. He is the writer and producer of the film Kate. So it's I like to say it's his story, but it's my film, right? So he wrote the story, all the dialogue is his, and then I took the script that he wrote, and then together we kind of tweaked things and reworked a lot of the elements and stuff. But Clark's been a longtime friend of the family. He's trained both my wife and my daughter in his martial arts training. He's come up with his own martial arts system that's biblically based and Christian based. So it's very, very unique in that. So in that regards.
Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. we're not going to stay here too long, because that's not what the listeners are here for. But you just touched on something that sparking my interest a little bit.
Yeah.
Christian based martial arts.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there was a spirituality or religion base to martial. I guess maybe it's. Go ahead.
Most martial arts actually are based in some form of a religion, whether it be Buddhism or Hinduism. I mean, you think about the monks that wear the orange outfits. They're martial artists, but they're also based, it's also based in a certain type of belief and belief system. So he wanted to create his own, instead of doing like Taekwondo or karate, and those are coming from a non-biblical base. He wanted to take it from a biblical base and a Christian base and create his own form of martial arts.
Okay, so you and I are going to have an offline conversation about this. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah. So after Covidland, I had a good friend of mine, Michael Montgomery, who's is a graphic artist. He's does production design. He's an all around just creative guy. And he messaged me, probably messaged me after Covidland, and told me that I should probably use this as a pivot to this whole COVID situation. As a pivot to maybe getting into something more creative. Okay. And because of that encouragement, I realized at the beginning of this year, I needed to do something creative. I needed to make a project creative and really, really drive into it. And because of his encouragement, I went to Clark, and he and I had been talking about doing stuff for years. I was like, all right, what scripts do you got? What do you already have in the can? What do you already have on paper? Give it to me. Let's start working through it. So we actually started working on a film called The Courier, which is more of an action John Wick kind of style piece, you know. And I literally have the entire storyboard. It's like shot listed out. Like I've got it like ready to go and to shoot, but I realized it was going to be really expensive. You know, getting the props, getting the costumes, and getting all that together. It was just out of my budget at the time. So I said, "What else do you have?" And he gave me a couple other ones, and Kate popped up, and I was like, "I think we can shoot Kate. That'll be much simpler." So I went through and I did my pre-production process. And a lot of times as a director, when I start looking at a script, I start to break it down. A lot of times I pull out any stage direction, because the writers need that stage direction to be able to kind of help them develop the story. But as a director, I don't need the writer to tell me how I'm going to shoot the film. I need to be able to pull all that out. And then now I can start visualizing what's going to happen. How do I block the scene? What's going to happen? And then I can start to develop what we see eventually what we see on screen. And so I spent probably about a month in pre-production, just storyboarding, shot listing, getting the film visualized before we actually got on set. And then we did an amazing thing called auditions. That was amazing. Probably it really was. It was mind-blowing how fascinating it was to see different actors come in and give you a different performance. Like I had 3 different ladies come in and read for Kate, and I got 3 different versions of Kate. And I was able to kind of explore the character even more so because I was able to see it. Michael, who eventually plays Ethan in the film, got the role because he took the character in a direction I did not expect. Like his characterization of what Ethan was. So that was the whole reason why we hired him to play the character, because he took that direction. And it was cool because he asked the right questions, because, you know, we had them initially read the bar scene, just a page out of the bar scene. Yeah. And then if they did a good job with that, then we handed them the in-car scene. So you see the interior of the car.
Let's not give too much away. Let's not give
too much away. Yeah. But we had them read that, and that would tell me, like, can they flip? Can they make the character change happen? And watching that, he was sitting there reading through it, because we just sprung it up on him. It's like, okay, what can you do off the cuff? You know, it was done on purpose that way, to kind of like, okay, how malleable are you? How well can you perform, in front of us? And he sat there and read it for a few minutes, and then he was like, okay, is this his first time, or has he done this multiple times? And now, as a director, I've been able to kind of give him that feedback that he needs, you know? And so I gave him the feedback that he needs, and he goes, okay. And then he performs, and it was just like, oh my gosh, this guy comes out of left field.
All right. So what I hear you saying is, just by doing the rehearsals or auditions, the character that, you know, you had seen from the writer, and you are building that scene and that look and what everything is in your own mind, but now seeing other people's interpretation of said character, now you're able to embrace other ways to view these characters, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, man, that's beautiful.
It's incredible. And then you get on set, once you get your characters and you get on set, and now you're working with your actors and you're giving them those fine-tune adjustments, and so much on set too is very technical too, because I'm shooting with a razor depth of field. Like if he moves this much closer, all of a sudden he's out of focus. He's got to stay here. He can't be flailing around. You've got to, so there's a lot of little things like that you're directing and you're pushing for and stuff, but the actors just bring an amazing breath to the script that you didn't expect or foresee. And then there are times too where you're like, that was good, let's try it this way. You give them a suggestion, or you do something, like say it like this, or put this kind of a motivation behind the lines, and then you tailor their performance, and you do it multiple ways too, because you never know. Once you get into post, you're watching all these different clips and you're like, oh no, that's what we need. I need that performance right there, and that particular intonation, just even a line that just, it's got a different cadence to it, will change the entirety of the scene.
I love this. Okay, so you mentioned the bar scene, so let's take a look at the bar scene where Ethan is. This is where he becomes introduced to Kate. Right.
He kind of comes in and becomes this savior, as kind of trying to save her from the.
Let's see. Let's take a look and see what it looks like.
Hey, I noticed you haven't talked to anyone tonight. Why not?
Maybe I just want to drink alone.
What? Just because you want to drink alone, you're not going to talk to anybody?
Seriously, I'm not interested.
I don't know if you've heard this before, but you're actually kind of pretty. I come here all the time. I'm kind of regular. All the bartenders know me. Yeah, this place sucks. Why don't you and me and Bale? I got a really great place just on the street.
Bro, move on.
Why don't you mind your own business?
See that hottie over there? She's been eyeing you all night. It's your choice.
Your loss.
Hey, I did not need your help.
Oh, without a doubt, but I wasn't doing it for you. I did it so Romeo over there wouldn't get a black eye.
Just to dump him on the drunk hottie? Nice of you.
You're right. He didn't take your hint to get lost, so how does him over there?
My hero.
Oh, you're gonna love this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, that was mean.
Maybe.
Oh man, that was a hit. That was a nice hit.
It was.
So I noticed. So we have a bar, right? We have a bar. Right. How did you find this location? How did you go about, like, how much changing did you do after finding location and scouting out and thinking about how you're going to light it? How much did you change it in the environment? Give us some thoughts around scene location.
All right, yeah. So we'll start from the beginning, because I was starting to locate locations. Oh boy. Anyways, I was starting to explore different locations to be able to shoot this scene, and there were two places in mind here in downtown St. Cloud. Downtown St. Cloud's really grown up in the last couple of years.
Florida.
St. Cloud, Florida. Yeah, not Minnesota. Yeah, because there's a St. Cloud, Minnesota, and they get confused all the time. But here in St. Cloud, Florida, we've got a great little downtown area that they've really built up. Some really great restaurants, some really great bars, some really great just locations in general. And I went to a place that's called Loading Gastro Pub, and they were absolutely fantastic. I walked in and I talked to a gentleman, and I was like, "Hey, I'm trying to look for the owners of the restaurant here," and he goes, "Oh, I'm one of the owners." And it was Matt, and I was like, "Well, I'm an independent filmmaker, and I'm looking for a location to shoot a bar scene. Would it be possible if I can maybe rent out your space, or be able to use your restaurant as a location?" And without hesitation, he was like, "Yes, absolutely." like
Nice.
without hesitation. You know, they just were so accommodating. They were just a great host to let us come in and have, you know, of course, you know, have free reign of the restaurant, be able to
What's
do
the name
what we
of it
needed
again?
to do.
Oh, what's the name of it?
Loading Gastro Pub or Loading Gastro Brunch.
Okay.
Loading Gastro Brunch.
Yeah, just
So,
want to
'cause
make sure
they-
to give them a shout out. You know.
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you for allowing
huge.
this to happen. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you know, and a lot of the mise-en-scene that you need for production was already built into this location, because all the set decoration and all of that was that's just the theming of the restaurant. It's the way the restaurant looks. So all I had to do is then just come in and boost up the lighting, because I did a few lighting tests with just the camera that we used, a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, and kind of just see what the lighting levels were like initially. Heidi, who was my gaffer, she was fantastic. I loved having her on set. And she and I went in one Saturday evening after hours. We were able to kind of get an idea of what our lighting design needed to be. One of the things I've learned through this whole process is to make it look like cinema, you shoot into the shadows. So the light's always somehow coming from behind your actors. It's never on front, you know, like when we do like interviews like this situation, we want to have a nice even light on our faces. Right. Yeah, exactly. Cinematic lighting is completely different. You want to make it look like a cinema, you want to make it look like a movie, put the light behind the person. That's all I did throughout this entire film. My whole entire design was, it's going to live on this 3/4 45-degree angle right behind their shoulder. And that's how I lit the scene in the bar. I just, you know, I gelled the lights with CTO, full CTO, and then they were pretty much living off the corners. Almost.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
I know what it is, but I had to explain what this acronym was to someone who's new to the industry, new to the field. CTO is color temperature orange.
Yes. Yep.
CTB is color temperature B.
Blue.
I'm
yes.
B. All right, color temperature blue. Right, you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
But yes, you just through out CTO, and I just want, you know, the people who don't know to know what CTO is. So you're putting CTO, or color temperature orange gel, over basically a back lighting to help create that look for the character.
Look. Once we finally got in to do the lighting test, that's when I knew I had to shoot it from the bartender's perspective, from behind the bar, because of where the lights needed to be. There was just no way to get the lights in the right position from the other side, you know, if the camera was facing the bar back. So that's what motivated the lighting. That's what eventually drove the scene and how we shot it.
It was so good. It was so good. And thank you for sharing that with us. So you had a movie premiere.
Yes.
And that, from the pictures and the video, like this just looks awesome. So tell us about your premiere.
Oh, that was an amazing day. I'm so glad I had Mike Siricchio come out and shoot it, because I was able to go back and kind of relive the moments through his cinematography. And I knew it was a special moment. I wanted to give my cast and my crew a special day to come out and say, hey guys, you guys did amazing work. Let's rent out a local theater here, you know. So we have here in St. Cloud, we have a twin theater. It's 2 screens, and I talked with the owner and I asked how much is it to rent out? Can we rent out the theater? And he was like, yeah, sure, you can go ahead and do that. Like, come to find out from the manager that this is kind of a special situation. They don't necessarily always rent this theater out to just anybody. But because the film was locally produced, I mean, Loading, where we shot the bar scene, is literally right around the corner. It's like 2 blocks around the corner from the theater. So they felt like it was the right thing to do, to let like a local filmmaker kind of show his film locally in our local theater. And we had to do a couple of test days. We had some audio issues day 1. I came back. We showed the film on Saturday. I was there Thursday prior to do another test run and attend another test viewing of the film. And the owner of the theater was there, Patrick. And so what's cool about him is he owns 2 theaters. He owns this one in St. Cloud and another one in Ocoee. And the Ocoee location actually held the Central Florida Film Festival. It was the host for the Central Florida Film Festival for about 10 years. So he's seen a ton of different short films. And throughout the entire time we were previewing and making sure the film looked good in the theater, he just kept going, this looks amazing. This is like better than most short films I've ever seen. And hearing that from somebody who's sat there and been in the, in a festival circuit like that and seen these short films and hearing that encouragement from him was very, very, very good and inspiring. Seeing it in the theater was a magnificent, unique experience. It was something different, it was just seeing it on the big screen in a theater with the sound, with everything. And then that last shot comes up and you're just, you're starting to tear up, know.
Did you cry? Did you cry, Robert?
Oh, I did. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally. Absolutely.
Yes. You know what I mean? You know what that took? That's passion. That's passion. I love it. Okay. So what's next, Robert? My one of my mentors, he always says, all right, so how do we get from now to next? You've done 2 great projects already, Robert. What's next?
Film festival circuits.
Okay.
It's already submitted to half a dozen different festivals.
Okay.
Hopefully it gets somewhere there. Many of those are here in Florida, but I've got one that's in New York and one that's in LA that it's been submitted to. So let's hope. I'm really hoping that as people look at the credits, they realize that there's not a whole lot of crew.
Yeah.
There's not this long list of like grips and key grips and best boys and all. And no, that was all, it was me, Clark, and Heidi that shot that movie. I can only hope that aspect of it gets recognized, and then that maybe other producers and other people in the industry can realize that, you can throw me a crew of 50 people and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to direct the film. I'm going to direct the project. I have that's the easy part, running a crew. You and I are both.
Oh yeah. Very familiar. Very familiar.
That's the easy part. The hard part's just coming up with the right ideas and the right camera shots and the right acting performances and tailoring that. That's what I need practice with,
But I mean, from what I've seen so far, Robert, like you definitely have a gift, you have a skill, and with continued dedication, because I know you are a dedicated person, you're going to continue to do well. So let everyone listening know or watching know, how can we support you as you begin your circuit tour, and how can we support you?
The best thing to do is probably go and watch the movie on YouTube. We'll have the link, I'm sure, posted below, and then share it. Start sharing it with everybody that you can. I mean, really, I have a very unique opportunity. There's a Facebook group for Osceola County. It's called Osceola Rants, Raves, and Reviews. And I put it up there. I put the link to the video or to the film on there yesterday. It's gotten 47 comments. It's got over 150 likes already. Like, it's continually like, I'm looking at my Facebook page right now, and it's right there, and there's more likes coming in. There, people are just the reviews on that particular site, and that's just Osceola County. That's not even touching anywhere else. That's just our local people, because it was shot here. It was shot in St. Cloud, so I wanted to, the local crowd to get into it. But it's certainly driving viewership and the exposure is what we need. We need the film to kind of get out there and kind of let everybody see it, so that way everybody's names get out there, and then we can promote it even further. If you follow the SBM production YouTube channel, that's probably the best place to kind of keep track of what we're doing next. I also have an Instagram under Spicy Brown Mustard Production, because that's what SBM stands for.
Okay. Cool. And
you can follow us there on Instagram, and follow our Facebook page also, and just support us there, so that way we can if we decide to, as we progress, because I'm not going to get better at making movies if I don't make movies. That was the whole point of this, I got to make movies to get better at making movies. So this is the first toss in the ring, basically, to making movies.
I'm also thinking I need to I'll adjust my lighting. I feel like I have too much light here. I need to try to get some more of that.
Yeah, get it right behind you, You see what I'm saying?
Shooting the shadows look, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Captain Jack. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Thank you so much.
Right, bye. Chatter.